You didn't choose third base. You had a cannon for an arm, and that was all it took. One showcase throw across the diamond, and a coach said, "Put him at third." You never really left after that. You thought it sounded good. The hot corner. Kinda cool. You're close to the crowd, you get to hit in the middle of the lineup, and if you've got quick hands, you'll be fine, right? That's what you thought, until the first time a right-handed batter yanked a line drive straight at your face. You didn't even blink, you just reacted. Glove up, heart spiked, and your coach shouted like you'd won the damn game. That was the moment you realized this isn't a position. It's a responsibility, and you were stuck with it. They never stop hitting your way. Every righty who pulls the ball is gunning it straight at you, 100 miles per hour off the bat, sometimes more. You don't get time to calculate. You react or you bleed. They call it the hot corner for a reason. Not because it's glamorous, because it burns. And once they see you handle it, once they realize you've got that twitch in your muscles and that fire in your shoulder, you're not going anywhere. You've been branded. You start modeling your game after the greats. Manny Machado, smooth, effortless, ruthless. Nolan Arenado, footwork like choreography, arm like a missile. You try to make it look easy too, even when it isn't. But it's never easy. There's nothing graceful about third base. It's chaos, pure violence stitched into precision. A position where one step too slow means a double down the line, and one overthrow means a run scores and you're suddenly that guy. And the truth is, you start to resent how early the expectations hit. You're still a kid, maybe 15, and they're already clocking your release times, asking if you've thought about playing JUCO ball or bulking up like Donaldson. You're still figuring out your swing, and already you're expected to lead the infield and have a cannon on command. You realize third base is where coaches put the kids they trust the most, and sometimes the ones they trust too much. You take every infield drill like your scholarship depends on it, because it kinda does. The shortstop gets the flash, the second baseman gets the finesse. You get the missiles. You start learning how to play without fear, because fear gets you hurt. The hard grounders don't bounce the same on every field. Some stay low, some explode. You take one off your forearm, then your chest, then your thigh, and nobody stops practice. You're just expected to eat it, get up, and throw a strike to first, and you do, because that's the job. It gets in your head after a while. The knowledge that third base is the one position where no mistake is minor. You can make a dozen clean plays, but the one bad hop you can't handle, that's what gets remembered. That's what shows up on the scoreboard. That's what follows you in the dugout and whispers in your ear on the ride home. And still, you stay. You stay because when you glove a screaming grounder, spin, and rifle a throw across the diamond on a frozen rope, that's power. That's control. That's a moment of mastery no one else gets. You're the wall they lean on. The last line before the corner becomes a catastrophe. You didn't pick third base, but you became it. At some point, the bruises stop bothering you. They don't stop forming. They just stop mattering. You wake up with one on your thigh from a bad hop you smothered, another on your throwing shoulder from diving into the foul line wall. Your elbow aches from firing lasers to first in practice, but nobody asks how you're feeling. You're a third baseman. You're supposed to hurt. You don't even ice for the pain anymore. You ice so you can make it to tomorrow. You've learned to move before the ball leaves the bat. You don't wait for the cue, your body knows. The spin on the pitch, the timing of the swing, the sound of contact, your brain processes it before your eyes do. You don't think about charging a slow roller and barehanding the pickup. You just do it. And when you do it right, nobody says a word. Because third base doesn't earn you applause. It just buys you silence. You make the right read, take the right hop, fire a clean throw to first, and it's business as usual. But bobble one, hesitate on a bunt, one hopper sails wide, suddenly it's your name echoing in the dugout like a warning. You start to notice it in the way teammates look at you after a clean play. They don't celebrate, they expect it. That's your job. Make the difficult look routine. Save the pitcher, bail out the infield, and if you don't, the spotlight isn't a reward, it's a crosshair. You've saved more errors than you've caused, took short hop throws from the catcher and tagged runners mid-slide, dug out bad picks from the dirt and turned them into outs. You don't complain. You just stare at your glove, adjust the laces, and line up again. Sometimes you wonder what it'd feel like to play outfield. See the ball longer, actually have time to think, or maybe second base. Smoother, cleaner, less violent. But those thoughts vanish the next time you snag a rocket with one step and turn two like it's nothing. Because even if they don't cheer, you know what that play was. You know how much timing, balance, trust went into it. That moment was yours, even if the crowd missed it. You think about guys like Scott Rowland. quiet, durable, never had a viral moment, just seasons of absolute dominance at the corner. Or Anthony Randone, always solid, always reliable, rarely appreciated. You wonder how often they walked off the field with dirt in their mouth and nobody said thank you. The best third basemen don't chase headlines. They erase mistakes. That's what you've become. A specialist in fixing other people's problems. Your reward? A new set of bruises. More tape? A bit more swelling in your throwing arm. But you keep showing up. You hit your pregame reps. You take grounders until your back screams. You throw from the line to first again and again because you can't afford a slip. Not here. Not at third. Not when one moment is the difference between the game-winning double play or the error that lives on in a box score forever. You don't recover like you used to. The throws still get there mostly, but they don't feel clean. They feel like effort. Like you're trying to remember how your body used to move. The arm aches before the first pitch. The knees bark after grounders that used to feel routine. You stretch longer, wrap tighter, pop 2 Advil before warm-ups like it's part of the uniform. You get to the field earlier, not because you're eager, but because you need the time to get ready. To feel like you still belong. No one talks about it. You don't either. Because third base doesn't allow grace. It doesn't reward what you used to be. It punishes what you are right now. And the ball still finds you. You could go 5 innings untouched, and then it comes. Always when your back stiffens, always when you're guarding the line in late innings and praying for a clean bounce. But third doesn't deal in clean. It deals in chaos. One pitch, one swing, one bad hop that kicks up higher than expected. Off the heel of your glove, past your reach, you turn to chase, but the runner is already rounding. The crowd groans, the scoreboard changes. Error, your name. You feel it in the silence around you. Not blame exactly, just expectation. You've made this play 1,000 times, but this one, you didn't. You sit down in the dugout, towel on your shoulders, trying not to let your hands shake. You replay it in your head over and over. One more step, one faster glove, one throw you should have made in your sleep, and yet, you didn't. The fear creeps in slowly, not fear of pain. That's already permanent. Not fear of playing bad. You've been through slumps. This is different. It's fear of being done, of becoming the player they hide on the bench, the one they send down quietly, out of respect. You can feel it coming. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon. The kid with the younger legs is watching you closer. The coach lingers longer during fielding drills. You start noticing the way they talk about your leadership more than your arm. That's how it starts. But still, you show up, because the system runs better when you're there. Pitchers trust you, coaches trust you. Even the infield breathes easier with you at third. You know the game better than most. You play it smarter, but the body doesn't always listen to the mind. You think about Justin Turner, still hanging on, still grinding, still getting it done through pain, through tape, through willpower. You respect it. You're trying to do the same. But you know this version of the game isn't sustainable. Not forever. Some nights, you ice your arm in silence. Watch the lights flicker in an empty clubhouse. You wonder how many more games you've got in you, how many more rockets you can glove, how many more cross-diamond throws your shoulder can survive. Then you lace up your cleats and do it anyway, because the ball still finds you, and it always will. You spent a career catching things people didn't even see. Not just balls, expectations, blame, pressure, failure. Things ricocheted off you before they could hurt someone else. And now, standing outside the game, you realize something you never said out loud. You were never allowed to be human. You had to be reliable, silent, steal. One mistake and they didn't just question your glove, they questioned you. Like that one throw erased the 20 plays before it. Like that one bad bounce meant you didn't prepare hard enough or care enough. And eventually, they stopped calling your name. No press conference, no tribute video, just fewer innings. Then none. Then a locker with your nameplate removed before you get back from treatment. That's the exit. Not with applause, not with closure, but with a shrug. You gave your body to this game. Bent your back low enough to feel it when you breathe. Spent nights icing joints that didn't even hurt in high school. You got good at hiding pain. So good, they never asked. And now the pain is all that's left. You walk differently now. Not from one injury, from all of them. The thousands of tiny impacts that added up. The throws across your body that twisted your spine. The stingers in your elbow that turned chronic. You don't miss the stadium noise. You miss the sound of the game, the thud of ball and glove, the smack of cleats against dirt, the stillness before a pitch, that heartbeat moment where you knew the ball could come your way and your whole team would be depending on you, and you wanted it. You miss that. You don't miss being noticed. You miss being needed. Now you flip on the TV and see the new kid at third. Quick hands, good arm. They say he reminds them of someone. You smile, then wince. Same move you used to make. Smoother now, younger legs. But you know what's coming for him too. You know how it ends. Because it always ends the same. You're remembered for the throw you missed, the bobble in the ninth, the one hop that skipped past your glove. That's your last footprint in the dirt. Not the routine ones, not the heroics that didn't look like heroics, just the miss. But here's the thing, that miss, that one moment, doesn't undo what you were. It doesn't erase the years, the effort, the grit. You were the last wall before disaster, the quiet heartbeat of the infield. You held it together. And maybe they won't remember that, but you will. And so will the ones who played beside you. And that's why it sucks to be a third baseman. Not because no one noticed, but because you still remember everything.